strange was it the first time just putting on the Cardinals gear and all that after all the years wearing green?
Yeah, it was different for sure. I wore red in college, so I guess the transition wasn't as drastic being at Stanford. We were the Cardinals, so it wasn't too far going to the Cardinals. But I'm excited to be here. I mean, what an opportunity it is to be on this football team. 6-0, playing great football, being on the sideline, meeting the guys, traveling to Cleveland this past weekend. I was exhausted, but it was so worth it because just being around the group, you feel the energy, you feel the leadership on this team, and I'm just excited to be a part of it.
You obviously had an emotional end there in Philadelphia, and that was always probably going to be the case. Just where are you in terms of mental exhaustion, going through this whole thing and now jumping right into a game week and knowing you're going to play?
Yeah, I think obviously it was emotional time. I spent a long time in Philly. Mentally, I was kind of prepared last offseason to move on. Played 6 games there. But I think the one thing that a lot of great players are able to do is kind of compartmentalize things, and you have to as an NFL player. And so all my focus right now is learning this playbook, meeting the guys, being the best tight end player I can be for this team. And so for me, I'm full speed ahead against the Texans on Sunday, and I'm excited to be a Cardinal.
You knew you were going to get dealt before Thursday's game, right?
Yep.
You knew you were coming here. What was that experience like?
It was definitely different. I mean, you go into a game knowing it's going to be your last game there. You kind of just take it all in, take a deep breath a few times, just observe everything that I've gone through there, think about it one more time. And I didn't talk to anyone about it. My family knew going into the game, so they were all there for the game. But none of my teammates really knew. So I really just wanted to focus on the game. I didn't want to become a distraction. And it was fun to just be able to focus on the football. That was my thing before the game, is I'm not going to let anything distract me from playing great football on Thursday. I thought I played well, and then I was excited to get out here as soon as possible.
Why was it important to be in Cleveland, and then how much did that help you kind of get a head start here for this week?
Yeah, it was important for multiple reasons. Number one, just being around the guys. This is a team. I have a lot of connections here from doing rehab here all offseason with Brett Fisher. So I met a lot of the guys. Dennis, Pugh and I have known each other. We were the same draft class. Jordan Hicks, I was in his wedding. JJ and I's wives play together in soccer. So I've known a lot of the guys here, but there's a lot of people I don't know. And so it was good to talk to Hop, AJ, Kyler, and just get on the same page with those guys. Secondly, I was able to get in the playbook. I was able to meet with the coaches and kind of start learning the playbook. And for me, that's paramount at this time. Pretty much had 9 days to learn a playbook, get ready for the game, and I'm excited. I feel like no MAs today, no missed assignments in practice today, so I'm excited for Sunday.
What are your takeaways with your conversation with Kyler on that plane?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a phenomenal player, first and foremost. I think that speaks for himself, the way he's played. But just getting to know him, I feel like the best quarterback tight end relationships that I have start off the field. And so it's important to get to know each other off the field so that you can start trusting each other on the field. And so it was literally just getting to know one another. Where are you from? Talk about your family. And for us, I think we were able to connect immediately just off shared experiences. He's a great dude and obviously a phenomenal football player.
Was it by design you sat next to him, or did you arrange it, he arrange it, or just
I walked on the plane, I got my seat assignment, and we happened to sit right next to each other. So there was probably the higher ups, or I don't know if it was Max's seat or whatever, but I don't know. I don't think it was on accident.
With Kyler, and he even mentioned getting some reps with you by himself today. Like, how quickly does that come together? I mean, can it be overstated that you do need some time for chemistry, or can you guys find it pretty quick?
Well, I think good players find a way. Obviously, I think I'm a pretty good player. I think Kyler's a great player. And so my job is to be as open as possible, and he'll do the rest. Obviously, there are some things that we talk about consistently and have to talk about consistently, and that's why during special teams today, me and him are running routes one-on-one, because he sees it one way, I see it another way. We got to talk about how we meet in the middle. I've done things for 9 years one way, but I'm here to be the best player to help this team win, whether that's running something differently than I've run it before, which is fine. And so it's just getting as many reps. It doesn't have to be physical. It could be verbal communication. just getting as close as we can football-wise so that we can go out and execute on game day.
Most important, how was the private plane ride?
It was phenomenal. Obviously, I'm very thankful for that. It was a whirlwind, and it would have been much more difficult if that wasn't set up.
What were your thoughts on Kyler from afar?
I mean, obviously, seeing this offense from afar all offseason, this was a place that kind of stood out. It was like, man, they got a lot of weapons. And we played against the Cardinals last year in Philly, and you could just tell that he was special. And then you kind of look at it from afar with D-Hop, AJ, Rondell, C. Kirk, the backs, James, Tremaine. There's a lot of talent in the skill position room, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. Obviously, me, AJ, and D-Hop have been pretty much number one receivers our whole career. And so I'm excited to play with those guys. There should be a little more space in the middle of the field, which I'm excited about. And it should be fun.
So enough balls to go around?
For me, all that matters is winning football games. And all three of us have had a lot of success individually in this league. And the most fun thing that I've been a part of is winning a Super Bowl. To me, that's what things that separates all the other seasons that I've played. I've played 8 years here, completed 8 years in the NFL. By far the most fun I had was when we won the Super Bowl. And so for me, it doesn't matter how many balls I get. All I care about is winning football games, and that's why I wanted to come here. This is arguably one of the best teams in the league, and I'm just excited to be a part of it.
One of the things we probably don't think about when someone comes to a team is just off the field, getting accustomed to a new city, finding a place to live, all those little details. What is that like? You never really want to go through that.
Yeah, obviously I never had a thought of this. I've never had to think about it before. Luckily, like I said, I had some connections, so the only person here that knew about the trade was Jordan Hicks, so he could reach out to a realtor for me starting Tuesday. I'm staying with Justin Pugh at his house right now. Him and his fiance have let us stay there for a week as we get situated. You rely on your agent during times like this. My wife and I had the same agent, so he's been doing a lot of work trying to find realtors or cars or whatever we need out here just to make our lives easier, because my sole focus right now is this playbook and getting on the same page with Kyler. And so you got to compartmentalize and kind of, I told my wife, I said, Julie, you got to kind of handle a lot of this stuff right now because I got to immerse myself in this playbook. So it takes a team, just like any situation in life. It takes a village, and luckily I got a great group around me.
How do you and Julie balance the whole thing? Are you and JJ planning how you're going to watch games and get up there?
So Julie's here currently. She played in the Olympics 3 months ago. She had a bad knee injury going into it. She rehabbed with Fish out here too. But this is home for her. She's from Mesa, went to Dobson High School. We met in college, so it's exciting to be back for her. Her family is ecstatic that we're here. And I'm glad she's able to help me through this transition. It would be tough doing it by myself, but that's what marriage is for.
Are you and JJ tight?
We've met a few times, never really in person until now. Obviously, our wives play in Chicago together, so we'd be texting from afar or get to know each other through the NFLPA stuff from afar, but we were just never in the same city. And so he's a great dude. He's obviously a phenomenal football player. He's been that way for a long time, but he's a great leader. The thing that stuck up about him just being on the field on Sunday was just his leadership qualities. They really stand out, just being around him, being around the team, how he talks to the team. It's impressive.
Kyler said you guys kind of clicked right away, considering the circumstances and you coming to a new team mid-season. Was there any worry of how you were going to click with him, and is there sort of a sigh of relief or just encouragement that you guys got along so well?
I think I'm a nice guy, so I wasn't too worried about it. But obviously it speaks volumes about him that he kind of went out of his way to make me feel comfortable and welcome here. He didn't have to do that, but I think it just speaks about his leadership as the quarterback of this team, that he wants all the guys to feel comfortable here. And so obviously I'm very appreciative of that, and we did hit it off right away.
I always said he wants you to retire an Eagle. You happen to win a Super Bowl or two here. What about that?
I'm just focused in right now on finishing the season as best as I can. Obviously, we got a great opportunity here. I'll always love my time in Philadelphia, but the goal is to win championships in this league. If you're not trying to win a championship, there's no point in playing this game. It's too hard to do what you do Monday through Saturday if you're not trying to be the best team you can be on Sunday. So I'm excited to be here. Obviously, a great start to the season. But we also have a long way to go. You know, it's not like you're 6-0 and you think everything's okay. You know, there have been a lot of teams that have started well and flamed out, didn't make the playoffs. And so it really starts setting the tempo in practice each and every day, not getting complacent as a football team, because the best football teams I've been a part of get better from week to week. And I think that's the goal here in this organization is we got to be better this week than we were last week, and just continually to build so you're a better football team in December than you were in September.
How would you
We'll
rate
make this the
Jordan-
last one, if you don't mind, please.
How would you rate Jordan Hicks's recruitment tactics, and did he sell you on anything?
I mean, obviously, Hicksy and I were kind of in similar situations this offseason, just with everything going on, kind of mirrored, which was ironic because we were roommates in Philly on the road. I was in his wedding. And so once he knew he was going to be here and there was a possibility that I could get out of Philly or was going to get out of Philly, it was a full court press. He would call me every day, like, bro, is it going to get done? Is it going to get done? I said, I think so, I think so. And then finally, when I knew it was going to get done, I called him, and he was just so happy. We went out to dinner last night together. Took like an hour off of studying the playbook to get out and go to dinner with him and his wife. So I'm so glad he's here still. He's a phenomenal football player. He's had a phenomenal start to the season. He's a great leader. And so I'm pumped he's here, but he did recruit me hard.